Hey, it's Christina Quick, the Tarot Biz Mentor. Welcome back to our Rapid Tarot for Fortune Telling series. We're going to be going through the majors and the reversed in the majors, okay? So the full reversed represents a fear of change, reckless decisions, right? Remember when we talked about the full upright and we talked about, oh, there's, the need to prepare. Well, this suggests that they've gone ahead and done the thing, or they're thinking about doing the thing, but they are, it's a reckless decision. So this is a decision that we would recommend not going through with, but it can also represent missed opportunities, acting without thinking, foolish risks that are leading to regrets. The Magician reversed. This is a card about manipulation and not for the better, right? It's definitely a card of deception, and it's about what the person is doing, not necessarily what they're saying, though that can be part of it, but it's the actions, it's that follow through that what they're saying and what they're doing is not lining up, right? It can also represent someone who is very, very talented, but is not utilizing their skills. But typically speaking, this is a trickster figure that's causing problems. So this is like an agent of chaos. The High Priestess reversed. So this is about secrets that are unattainable, secrets that you can't seem to get down to the bottom of. It can also represent misinformation. So it's kind of like someone is misleading the situation and what they're saying, right? But it can also be someone who is keeping the truth, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean it for a negative reason. It could be like little white lies, or just someone who's trying to protect someone else by keeping the truth from them. The Empress reversed. This represents delays in growth. It can also represent if you have someone in front of you and you're doing a pregnancy reading, this could represent fertility struggles. This can also represent emotional neglect, but also it can represent smothering too. So I often see this card where someone in the situation is maybe micro controlling the situation a little bit too much, putting a little bit too much of their own personal energy into the situation, not allowing it to come to its own flourish in its own time. The Emperor reverse. This is someone with control issues. This is a tyrant. This is someone who is not a person of their word. It's poor leadership, right? Poor delegation, poor execution. It can also be someone that is causing the feeling of oppression. Someone who is again, smothering or suffocating the situation. And typically, this is where you start seeing like people having tantrums, emotional outbursts. This could also be like emotional manipulation, that sort of thing. The Hierophant. This could represent breaking traditions and unconventional paths. It can represent rebellion, but it can also represent lies too, right? So like false teachings. Like it can represent manipulation. It's like one step above the magician, where not only is there like a physical manipulation, but there's also a spiritual. It's really a spiritual manipulation that's going on. The Lovers reversed. This is disharmony where things are out of alignment. It can represent a bad relationship. It can represent like a one-sided relationship. It can also represent like a breakup, right? Like you're going through a breakup, or it doesn't even have to be romantic. It can just be like two people or people within the situation have gone their separate paths. It can also represent cheating, unfaithfulness, and it can also represent falling out of love or falling out of a commitment with someone. The Chariot reverse. This is a loss of direction, obstacles, giving up, feeling stuck, delays in travel, or even just moving forward. So the Chariot upright is about moving forward after a period of struggle and a period of stagnation in inaction. Well, the reverse version of it is more like, okay, they want to move forward, but they're just not really sure how, or there's like all these obstacles around them that's preventing them from moving forward. So it's a very much like the Hangman upright, where they're feeling stuck. It can also represent delays in travel or moving forward. So if this person is planning a trip or something and you get this reverse, well, there might be some issues that they may have when they're going to do their traveling. Oh, and The chariot verse, I don't think I mentioned this in the first video, but this can also represent vehicles. So this could be like cars, ships, etc., airplanes, etc. Strength. So this is about self-doubt. This is about the inability to overcome a situation, the inability to handle the situation without using brute force, right? Because it's all about being nice about things, being kind about things, trying to get things to come into being in their own time. But it can also represent powerlessness. And I think that's the biggest takeaway here of the reverse strength is it's a feeling of powerlessness, a feeling like something else is dominating them or controlling them, and they cannot seem to get the upper hand in a situation. The hermit is isolation, loneliness, refusing guidance. This is like when someone has like the best advice given to them and they still don't take it, right? It can also be missing opportunities or just not having a real clear understanding of like what the bigger picture, what the bigger perspective is in all of this, what the higher lesson is in all of this. This is typically when someone is so isolated and feeling so lonely that they just are just completely disconnected. It's almost kind of like a card of disassociation. Wheel of Fortune reverse. So this is when the bad luck happens. Have you ever heard of having such good luck that you have bad luck? There's certain times in life where things seem to be going all our way, and things start working out, and it's like then you get into a period of like the only good luck you have is bad luck, where things don't work out, or there's temporary delays, or there's situations that are like interacting with the situation that's going on that's preventing it from moving forward. It can also be like you take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back type of situation where a phase or something that you thought was over and done with, now it's kind of like, well, I thought I worked through this already, and unfortunately, you're back in that situation. It can also represent resisting the change that's coming through. If you've ever worked with someone who maybe got a good job and they're like, this is like they're going to be their new salary and their new life, and it's going to be great, but like they're still feeling depressed about it. That's and it's also about our ability to withstand abundance and our threshold of abundance. Justice reversed. This is when justice is not served, right? Justice isn't served, or people got away with something that they probably shouldn't have gotten away with. It also represents a situation in which justice is not served, right? So someone getting away with some type of wrongdoing. It can also represent legal trouble. It can represent a court decision or a civil suit decision not going the way that you expect. Okay, so this is kind of a disappointment card in a lot of ways, especially if you're looking to hold certain people accountable for something. It says that they're not going to be held accountable, and it's a very unfair feeling. The Hangman reverse, stagnation. So this is refusal to see things differently. You've been told the Hangman upright. You've been told that you need to look at things from a different perspective, or you need to wait for things to the delays, right? So you're waiting for things to kind of work out. The Hangman says that despite you being hung upside down, unfortunately, that's still not enough. You're still not getting the bigger picture. It's like really ignoring the signs that are going on and just refusal to accept reality as it is. It can also be sitting around waiting and just watching your potential just kind of pass you by. All these opportunities kind of pass you by. Kind of like when you're waiting for that perfect thing to manifest, and you keep saying no to all of these almost perfect things. Yeah, that can be a problem too. Death reversed. So this is fear of change, resistance to transformation, stagnation, clinging to the past. This is where people don't want to move on from the past. They're stuck in the past. Have you ever met those people or had those people come in where, they're thinking about a relationship from 20 years ago, and it's preventing them from, that was a bad relationship, but still they're like thinking about, the unfinished business with that. And it's preventing them from moving forward into a new relationship today, or to fully be present in the relationship that they're in, because they're not over it, right? So this is definitely about clinging to the past, but also fear of change. Temperance reversed. This is an imbalance, this impatience excess. This is like it's almost kind of like the devil, where it's kind of like it's an indulgence kind of card, right? Indulgence energy. It can also represent trying to meddle in things that really you should just leave things alone. So when this card comes up, Temperance reverse, and it's like, I keep trying to do this, and I'm saying you need to pull back. You need to pull back, because what you're doing is you're interfering. You're not allowing the natural flow of things. And so what you're doing is you're getting the situation off kilter, off balance, and your impatience is sabotaging the situation. The devil reversed it takes it a step further from just the devil, right? So it means being chained to one's vices, like inability to get out of that situation. Like at some point, like these toxic situations have overtaken the person's whole identity, and they're preventing them from being a responsible person within this situation. And it represents someone or a situation that's going to continually be a selfish situation, or it's people making selfish decisions, and that they're not going to be able to make the right decision. So this is one of those ones where I'm like, okay, it's time to just walk away. The Tower reverse. So the Tower has fallen. And so now it can be, or you see the Tower that's, the impending doom. It's like slow-mo. This is what I consider like the Tower reverse, a slow motion kind of situation where you can see the things crumbling around you, but you're still in denial that things are happening, right? So it can represent avoiding disaster, delaying the inevitable, like hanging on to something that is done and ruined. It can also be fear of sudden change, resistance to rebuilding after the destruction. So this could be a feeling of maybe the Tower has fallen and there's this feeling of listlessness, like they lack the motivation or the inspiration to rebuild from there. And it can just be kind of like one of those cards where I kind of think about it where someone's still going through the rubble and trying to figure out why the Tower fell, if that makes any sense, instead of moving on. The Star reverse, this is a loss of hope. This is like pessimism. This is apathy. This is nihilism, feeling uninspired, feeling like you're disconnected from your life's purpose, feeling like you're disconnected from your happiness. It can also be a test of faith. So it's like a trial in a way. It could also be something that your querent really wished for, really wanted to manifest, but it just didn't happen. So it's a very disappointing card to get this. It's like, why didn't this work out, right? The Moon reversed is finally the truth is coming out, right? The illusions are being shattered. So remember when we talked about the Moon upright, it's about seeing the situation from a fear-based perspective, something that's making the situation seem a lot worse, or a lot more veiled or clouded than it should be. And it's like scary, right? Looking at a situation and thinking, oh, I'm scared by this situation. But this can also represent the Moon reverse. That clarity after that confusion, it can represent the exposure of that deception, if there is any, right? And usually it's more like, okay, I just thought wrong. I see this card often reversed when we're thinking about someone or a situation and we're coming from an insecurity, from a lack mentality, and that's coloring how we're seeing the situation. So the Moon reverse, not necessarily a bad card. It's just a moment of clarity after feeling like you have been deceived. Were you deceived? We don't know. We have to look at the other cards around that to see. The Sun reverse. So this is a temporary setback. This is a depression card, unhappiness, lack of joy. This could be something with the career, especially. So if it's career-based and it's about ambitions and career growth and things like that, it could be like being passed over for a promotion, or you lost the promotion to someone else, something like that. The success is being delayed, or it's even being overshadowed by another person or another situation. Judgment reverse. This is a self-doubt, fear of making the decision, unresolved past issues, avoiding accountability. So remember, it's the midlife crisis card. So judgment is like where you go through this thing and you wake up and you're like, oh, I want to do this. And it's like, I want to change my career, or I want to end my marriage, or I want to have kids, or, like these major life decisions. But when it's reversed, right, it's like They want to make these decisions, but they're too scared, too wrapped up in the fear of the change that's involved and how the lifestyle is going to change significantly. Even though they really, really want this thing that they're trying to manifest, whether it's a new relationship, a new job, a family, whatever, they're not feeling like they're responsible enough to take on this situation. And the world is a card of unfinished business. It can be obstacles, especially in travel, especially if you get like the chariot with this as well. It can be repeating lessons or feeling incomplete. So this is a card that comes up with people when they're facing unfinished business. There's something that happened in the past that they haven't quite gotten over yet. There's some kind of task that they need to do in order to get over this situation. So, working with them and figuring out what that task could be. But it's basically saying that the person is unable to move on, unable to feel a sense of security, completion within the world, because they feel like they still haven't overcome a situation that's integral to their identity in the past. Thank you so much for being with me today for the majors reversed. In the next video, we're going to be going into the upright wands or the fire cards. See you in the next video.